This happened to me in the winter of 2019 when I moved into a small house in rural Pennsylvania. I had just started a new job and needed a cheap place to stay. The house I rented was old, but the price was unbelievably low, which should have been my first warning sign. The landlord was an older man who barely spoke. He simply handed me the key and told me one strange thing before leaving. Make sure you close the curtain at night. At the time, I thought he was just being overly cautious. The house itself was quiet to get. There was no nearby neighbor. The closest house was about half a mile away. Behind the house was nothing but dense wood. The first night was normal. I unpacked my things, watched some TV, and eventually went to bed around midnight. At about 3 am, I woke up suddenly. I did not know why. It was just one of those moments where your body wakes up for no reason. My room was dark except for the pale moonlight coming through the window. That's when I noticed something outside. At first, I thought it was just a tree, but then it moved. My heart dropped. Standing outside my window was a tall man. He was completely still, just standing there watching. I froze. My brain could not process what I was seeing. My bedroom was about 6 feet off the ground, and there was no porch or ledge nearby, which meant this man had been standing there for a while, just staring into my room. I quickly rolled out of bed and peeked again. He was gone. I barely slept the rest of the night. The next morning, I tried to convince myself that maybe it was just someone passing by. But something did not feel right. That night, I made sure to lock every door and window around 2:30 a.m. I woke up again. This time it was not random. I heard something, a tapping sound. Tap 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 3 times. Slowly against the glass of my window. My entire body went cold. I turned my head slowly toward the window, and there was again the same tall figure, standing perfectly still, tapping the glass with one finger. But this time I could see his face, or at last part of it. His eyes looked completely empty, not just emotionless, empty, like he was not really there. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The moment the light hits the window, he disappeared. Not walked away, not ran, just gone. Like he stepped back into darkness. At the point, I was seriously considering calling the police, but I had no proof. And honestly, I was not even sure what I would tell them. A man is staring at me through my window at 3 a.m. every night. The third night was when things got worse. I decided to stay awake. If someone was messing with me, I wanted to catch them. So I sat in my living room with all the lights off, staring directly at the front yard. Hours passed, nothing happened. Around 3:50 a.m., I started feeling stupid. Maybe I had imagined the whole thing. Just as I stood up to go to bed, I heard something behind me. A slow creaking sound coming from the hallway. I turned around and my blood instantly ran cold. The back door was open. I was absolutely certain I was locked it earlier. The cold winter air was blowing into the house, and then I heard it footstep, not outside, inside, somewhere in the darkness of hallway. I grabbed a kitchen knife from the counter. My hands were shaking no badly. I could barely hold it. Hello, I called out. No answer. Just silence, then another step, slow, heavy. Like someone walking carefully across the wooden floor. The hallway was pitch black. I slowly walked toward it. Every step felt like my heart was going to explode out of my chest. When I reached the hallway, I turned on the light. Nothing. The hallway was empty, but the back door was still wide open. And that's when I noticed something that made my stomach drop. Wet footprints leading from the back door down the hallway and stopping directly outside my bedroom doors, as if someone had been standing there listening. That same night, I packed a bag and left the house. I did not even wait until morning. I drove to a nearly motel and stayed there for the rest of week. A few days later, I called the landlord and told him everything. He was silent for a long time. Then he said something I will never forget. You saw him too. I asked him what he meant. He told me the previous tenant had reported the same thing. A tall man appearing outside the window at night, watching tapping, standing perfectly still. And one night, the tenant woke up and saw the man standing inside the bedroom, just watching him sleep. After hearing that, I never went back to that house again. But sometime late at night, when I wake up randomly around 3 a.m., I still feel the urge to check my window. And every time I do, I am terrified that one night he will be standing there again.